The Blue Jays have officially signed Japanese slugger Kazuma Okamoto. The Jays announced today that they have signed the 29-year-old to a 4-year deal worth $60 million U.S. Okamoto was part of the Japan's World Baseball Classic Championship team in 2023. He is a 6-time All-Star in Japan and has posted 248 home runs across his career. Okamoto plays first and third base. And for more on the signing and for what's next with the Jays in the offseason, we're joined by Scott Belford, host of the Walk Off podcast. Scott, it's great to have you on with us. Appreciate your time.
Great to be here. What a fun signing this was.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of Okamoto, can you tell us what you know about him so far and how you might think he'll fit in with the Toronto roster?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, this is a really interesting signing because one of the things that hasn't been talked about maybe enough is how hard the Toronto Blue Jays as an organization has kind of tried to crack into this Japanese market over the last few years. Their scouting and their presence on the Pacific Rim has been pretty apparent over the last few years, and they've tried on the open market to, bring some of these guys, like the most famous Otani, obviously, over, but to get the number one offensive Japanese player in all of the NPB is quite a coup for this Toronto Blue Jays team. And like you stated off the top, he plays primarily first base and third base. So I think we're going to see him take over at the hot corner at third. He has played a little bit of outfield. As we're well aware with the Toronto Blue Jays, they shuffle their position players around. So we might see him taking some reps in left field and maybe giving Vladdy the day off at first. And all of the rumors about Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker, this is what everyone wants to know, but it's been stated that it seems like they're still maybe in the market for these guys, and they'll deal with the roster crunch after they figure that out.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about Bo Bichette. How does this signing impact what might happen with him?
I'm not sure it fully impacts it. It's definitely going to give the Blue Jays a little bit of leverage when it comes to negotiations with Bo. I mean, the fact that they have an extra infielder now does mean that they could move on from Bichette if that's a direction they decide to go. That said, they've obviously been in contact with his people all along, right? So this is how negotiations work, and this is a big piece of that 2025 team, Bo Bichette. And so you'd love to have that impact back in the middle of the order. And does Okamoto make that less likely? Maybe slightly, but I honestly don't think it's going to impact it quite as much as people may think it is. If there have been offers already made to Bichette, this is something that the Blue Jays would have done the math on and calculated into the payroll, and you just don't rescind an offer. So if Bichette does wind up leaning towards the Blue Jays, I think that's how it's going to play out.
And what would you say the signing says about Toronto's approach in the offseason, especially after coming off that amazing season, almost winning the World Series?
All in? Like, this is about the most all-in offseason I've ever seen the Toronto Blue Jays do. It's been so fun as a Jays fan, especially after watching them go all the way to the World Series and that huge disappointment, and you'd like to get back in the game. And what do right away out of the gate? They signed the most prevalent 2025 free agent pitcher in Dylan Cease. They went out and got the top guy out of Korea in Cody Ponce, and then the top offensive guy out of Japan in Okamoto. So they've been all in, a big bullpen ad in Tyler Rogers. Just very exciting stuff if you're a Blue Jays fan.
Absolutely. It doesn't even feel like the offseason right now. Anything else you think we should be watching for? We do know Okamoto will be speaking to the media on Tuesday, so we'll get to hear from him soon.
Well, I think one of the things for Blue Jays fans to pay attention to is the fact that there is a lot of depth on this team. So we could see an out-of-nowhere trade, somebody move that maybe you weren't expected to be moving. Right now, there's 4 infield spots and there's 6 infielders, and if they go out and get another outfielder, same sort of thing happens there. So there's a bit of a log jam. So maybe a guy or two gets moved and we see an extra add to the bullpen or wherever they feel there's an area of need.
Absolutely. Well, Scott Belford, host of Walk Off Podcast, we appreciate your time today. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Go Jays.